So on a day where we are looking at potential World War III, we got an attack on one of our bases in Iraq, the exact same one that was attacked when Trump responded by hitting Soleimani with a missile. We got the Gaza thing. We got Israel. We've got Ukraine. We've got Trump almost getting shot in the head. We have a complete and total global market meltdown. Okay, we have very, very, very scary things going on. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you understand what you're looking at, what I'm going to show you right here is the scariest thing that you will see all day out of all of those things. All right. Now, obviously, a thermonuclear war, worst case scenario. But if the collapse of the American Union is something that keeps you up at night, if you really understand what would happen if we went into a civil war, then I really think you need to listen closely, although you won't need to listen that closely because he directly says he's going to incite civil war. You think I'm making that up? I'm not. Now, I'm going to show it to you very quickly, and then we're also going to look at this little number right here, because they are still pushing forward with this case against Trump in New York. And they're going to sentence him in September. Now, I realize that most people are like, there's no way. They're not going to sentence him to jail. Oh, no? You don't think so? Because I didn't think so either until right now. So once you see this clip, okay, and we're going to talk about that, if you hear what he says right here and then you still doubt that they are going to sentence Trump to prison, you are crazy. You won't. You won't. These people don't care. They will burn the world down to keep Trump out of office. They will do whatever it takes. They'll kill him. If they can't kill him, they'll put him in jail. If they can't put him in jail, listen to what he says. This is going to blow your mind. Let's get right into it. If you don't mind subscribing to the channel, if you haven't yet, I always look at. This is not a channel that you have to pay for, obviously, but it's also not free. This is what I always say. If you want to watch my content, you can watch it all. It's free. I only ask that you click subscribe. It takes 1 second. It's incredibly helpful to the channel, and I appreciate you guys doing that. I will say that this audience that is into this kind of content, you guys are incredible. The number of likes that you guys put on my videos is very, very, very high, and I really appreciate that. Thank you guys, and I appreciate the comments as well. Now, let's all get terrified together. So this is Representative Raskin, obviously a Democrat, and listen to what he says about what's going to happen after Trump wins in the election. This is going to melt your brain.
What can be put into the Constitution can slip away from you very quickly. And the greatest example going on right now before our very eyes is Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, which they're just disappearing with a magic wand, as if it doesn't exist, even though it could not be clearer what it's stating. And so, they want to kick it to Congress. So it's going to be up to us on January 6, 2025 to tell the rampaging Trump mobs that he's disqualified. And then we need bodyguards for everybody in civil war conditions, all because the 9 justices, not all of them, but these justices who have not many cases to look at every year, not that much work to do, a huge staff, great protection, simply do not want to do their job and interpret what the great 14th Amendment means. And I'm glad that Sherilyn's creating her new center so we can bring that.
Now, I assume you guys understand what he just said, given that he said civil war in his quote. So you need to send this to as many people as possible. Do not let this go without everyone that you know cares about this country seeing that, because that is worst case scenario, and he just laid it out as their plan. And that's not even getting into the fact that they're going to jail Trump in September, and you can bet on that also. Now, those of you guys who are wondering what he's talking about the 14th Amendment that they tried to use in Colorado. Okay, now let me explain to you how insane this is. This is the most insane thing that I've seen them do, and I'll tell you exactly why. When you are on our side, right? Like when you've gone all the way, fully politically awakened, and that's not a right-wing, left-wing thing. I say this all the time. I listen to Jimmy Dore all day long, and I listen to Ben Shapiro. I listen to Candace Owens. Now, is Jimmy Dore a Republican? No, he's a super heavy left-wing progressive, a real progressive, not one who has been brainwashed by the uniparty, okay? And so this is not right or left. This is about these guys. You wake up to what they are. And the most infuriating thing about it is that they constantly gaslight us, saying that we're doing this thing that is a treacherous, terrible thing, when it's exactly what they are actually doing. Okay? As an example, when they're saying these guys are a threat to democracy, Donald Trump is a threat to democracy, when Donald Trump is only still around because he is so wildly popular with the elected, the voters who elect people, And so these other candidates knew they have no chance of beating him because that's what democracy is. Then on the other side, they go, listen here, Joe Biden, he is the most sharp, he's amazing. He's doing such a great job. And the first time you see him speak for more than 3 straight minutes, they sabotage him. They throw him into that debate so that the world can go, oh my God, this guy's falling apart. So they can go, hey, we got to get him out of there. Here we go, Kamala. Kamala could have never won a primary. So who is subverting democracy? Okay, now let's keep that particular thought in mind, because democracy means the voters choose who our representatives are going to be. Okay, so would you say that someone shooting a candidate in the face because they think that they're going to win, would that be subverting democracy? I think so. But that's not what we're talking about here. What he's talking about here is this thing, the long shot legal bid that Colorado and Maine used to block Mr. Trump from the primary ballot by invoking rarely used provision in the U.S. Constitution. Now, you might think that what we're talking about is that he's a felon because they convicted him of this really legit felony over in New York, which we're going to talk about next, because they're going to sentence him to prison most likely in September, and that on September 18th. Okay, October, November, weird. So like just September 18th, like right before the election, that's when they're going to sentence him. Okay. Now, again, that's coming up. This is, they block him because he participated or led an insurrection. That is what they're saying. So they're saying that January 6th, when Trump led a peaceful protest, and then they, God, man, I'm not going to be able to do this without talking about Ray Epps. They did an operation, which we have now just demonstrated in plain sight, was instigated, okay? I'm not saying there were no Trump people there, but that was clearly instigated in order to justify them pulling Trump off of social media and all of that stuff, okay? So they did this. We know that, okay? They're saying that because of that incident, which they were responsible for creating almost certainly, they're going to use that to keep him off the ballot. Now, the Supreme Court was like, no. So what he's saying is, even if Trump wins on January 6th of 2025, they are going to say in Congress, nope, unfortunately, we're not going to allow him to be the democratically elected president because of the 14th Amendment. So like these two random states, Colorado and Maine, tried to pull that. It got thrown out. And this guy, Representative Raskin is like, yeah, but we're going to use that on January 6th. So on January 6th, the reason you're not going to allow him to be president is because of the previous January 6th. You had a handful of people who did what? With no guns. There's no plan. Trump has control of the military. He decides not to use the military. He has a peaceful thing. Every single word that he had said at all was like, let's quietly and peacefully go and let our voices be heard. Hey, everyone, you need to go home. Everybody needs to go home. That is an insurrection. But then you guys in government, the reason that Trump is so popular is because of you corrupt guys. Now on January 6, 2025, you're going to do exactly what you are pretending that they were trying to do on January 6th, and you're going to block him from being president. And then you're in civil war conditions. He said those words, said civil war conditions. We're all going to need bodyguards. Civil war. Are they insane? Have they lost their fucking mind? What are you talking about, dude? You're willing to burn the country to the ground to keep Trump out of office? Why? Like, seriously, why? Why? Why are you doing this? Let's watch it again, just so you understand that what he's talking about is keeping him out of office with the 14th Amendment, which is we block him because of what Trump did on January 6th, which is not a thing.
What can be put in?
Cannot believe that just happened. Okay.
Constitution can slip away from you very quickly. And the greatest example going on right now before our very eyes is Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, which they're just disappearing with a magic wand, as if it doesn't exist, even though it could not be clearer what it's stating. And so, they want to kick it to Congress. So it's going to be up to us on January 6th, 2025 to tell.
It can't be clearer what it's stating, right? That if someone participates in an insurrection and tries to overthrow the government, then they can't be president. But Trump didn't do that. You guys would have proven it and thrown him in jail if he did. You couldn't prove it. You had to misrepresent the evidence. Everyone knows what really happened. Ray Epps, in case you guys are watching, Jesse's a conspiracy kook. Dude, this guy, you know what? I take it back. We're not doing the Jesse tells you anymore. I'm going to show you in case you've never seen this. Now, for those of you who do not know who Ray Epps is, he is one of these guys who was caught on tape instigating every single part of any, like he was in these crowds instigating people into going into the Capitol. Now, guys got arrested. Guys got sentenced to 22 years in prison, and they weren't even there for this thing. Okay. People have been in prison since it happened for just walking into the Capitol kind of like, and then the only ones who got out is because you got them on video where the police were like, come on in, guys. Come on in. This is definitely not a setup. Come on in, guys. And this guy right here, Ray Epps, was never even charged for years until we caught them in plain. Okay, like look at him. This guy was never charged. No one will answer whether or not he's a federal agent or a federal informant instigating. Here you go. Okay.
We need to go into the Capitol. Into the Capitol. What? No! Peacefully. Fed.
So they know he was a Fed. So the crowd, the January 6th protesters, they knew this guy was a Fed. This was the night before it happened.
Tomorrow? I don't even like to say it because I'll be arrested.
Well, let's not say it.
We need to go. I'll say it.
All right.
We need to go in.
Shut the fuck up, Boomer.
To the Capitol.
Base Fed posting? All right. We need to go into the Capitol. I didn't see that coming. Okay.
See? All the real people there are like, oh, all right, guy, yeah, let's go into the Capitol. We need to go into the Capitol. Guy's like 6'7", screaming on camera, instigate. And it gets worse. Watch.
We are going to the Capitol, where our problems are. It's that direction. Please spread the word.
All right, noted. But one more thing.
Yeah, so can we go up there? No?
When we go in,
Are we going to get arrested if we
leave
go up
this
there?
here. You don't need to get
Did you
shot.
arrest us all?
So he whispers in this guy's ear, and then 4 seconds later, this guy, 2 seconds later, that's what that guy does.
Hey, nice security, dude. Nice security. Looks a little light, huh?
And here he goes. That's Ray Epps. And yet, he was never arrested until he got exposed like this, okay? That is when he ended up getting arrested because he got completely exposed. And they were like, dude, we're caught. We are caught on this Ray Epps thing. It was a psyop. We all know that. Everyone knows that. You're telling me that the January 6th committee had never seen those videos? You're telling me that for whatever reason, they had access to all of the videos and they somehow forgot to include the ones that showed the police leading people around inside of the Capitol? Like, once you see what the reality of January 6th was, you can't ever unsee it. And when you think about what it actually means, that is the end of the story. You can't, like, the only question you can ask yourself is, I don't know what it's like on the inside of the Oval Office. Is it possible that Trump is so incompetent and so dangerous that they're willing to do all of this to keep him out of the office? Okay, that's the only question that you can ask. And if you say that's not possible, then guess what? They're the bad guys, okay? Because it's in plain sight what they're doing. And now because of that right there, that guy was never even arrested. And then when he finally got charged, he got no jail time. He got a misdemeanor. He was the most guilty instigator of any single person on that entire day. Ray Epps is where all the bodies lie, right there. Okay? And then they go on this media tour where now Ray Epps is some kind of hero. Every other January 6th person is like an insurrectionist that wants to overthrow the government and should be thrown in jail forever, and they're the worst. But then Ray Epps, the mainstream media, they're all, what does it feel like to be used as a pawn in this conspiracy theory QAnon nonsense? You're like, Have you watched the videos, dude? Or are you just saying things that get fed to you? So now, knowing that they are willing to start a civil war out of their own mouth, you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like I just need to keep on showing this. Out of their own mouth, out of his own mouth, he is willing to start a civil war to keep Trump out of office. Then
the rampaging Trump mobs that he's disqualified. And then we need bodyguards for everybody and civil war conditions.
Okay, he says that right there. And then we have this. Trump to be sentenced for hush money trial in September. What does it mean? Gee, I wonder what it means. September, huh? September, October, November. Okay, so that's pretty close, right? All right. So the Supreme Court has allowed the sentencing of Trump, who has already been convicted in the hush money case. The sentencing is set for September 18th, 2024, 60 days before the election. Despite this, he can still legally run or hold the presidency, as the U.S. Constitution does not disqualify a convicted individual from office. This case revolved around illegal campaign contributions and the falsification of business records to cover up payments made during the 2016 election. It is a complete bullshit case. Everyone knows it. Trump was found guilty of 34 counts of falsifying business records related to a $130,000 payment to adult film star Stormy Daniels. Now, if you're young, this doesn't apply to you. You have plenty of time to save money. But if you're over 40 years old, all right, how many of you could pay that $130,000 bill? Okay, so, and the only reason I bring that up, I'm not talking, like, if you can't pay it, this is not meant to make you feel bad. I am just pointing out that Trump is a billionaire. $130,000 is not a lot of money. The fact that they even got into this, well, it's a lot of money for regular people. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to minimize the amount of money. I'm talking about if they're a billionaire. Okay, if they're a billionaire, that's nothing. To put it in perspective, this would be like prosecuting a regular person who has a $60,000 a year job because they falsified business records about $7 that they paid. Seriously, it's a $7 bill to a regular person. It's nothing to Trump. Nothing. Okay? There is no reason for him to do that. There is no reason for him to do this. They know that. They also are just going to ignore the fact that it was his attorney who recommended that he does it. You're supposed to trust your attorney. The whole thing is nonsense. 34 counts. His attorney comes to him and says, hey, we're going to pay this woman so that she doesn't go public with this story. It could be damaging to the campaign, but don't worry. I've got it covered. We're going to take care of it. Yada, yada, yada. He goes, all right. Trump says on tape, make sure it's legal. But that doesn't matter. And then Cohen admits on the stand that it was a scheme that he used to steal money from the Trump organization. He literally admitted it. And somehow Donald Trump gets convicted of 34 felonies associated with that. And so this is I cannot stress this enough, man. This guy literally just said that he's willing to go into civil war circumstances in order to pull off what they're saying they're going to do, which is do what they pretended that they were trying to do January 6th, except they're going to actually do it with the full power of the government. And then knowing it's going to break the country, they're expecting violence, and then they're going to blame it on the Trump people because they're the ones who are always subverting democracy. This is as clear-cut as subversion of democracy as you will ever get. And if you think that they're willing to do that, but they're not willing to throw Trump in jail September 18th, you are crazy. They're going to do it. It's going to happen. I didn't believe it until I just saw that. Now, I mean, to me, it seems very obvious that they are going to, they're telegraphing it. Okay? Do you think that judge likes Trump more than that representative? They are the same. These guys hate him like that. They really believe he's some kind of threat to democracy. They're so blind by their hate that they're willing to burn the country down. They are going to send him to jail, man. And the markets are melting down now. Think about this, dude. We're about to fall into a market collapse. We have World War III around the corner. Seriously, they're seriously writing about World War III. You got Israel and Gaza. You got the Ukraine thing. You got us being attacked by Iran in Iraq. And the Democrats are willing to do this now? This is end times. This is seriously end time stuff, dude. This is that serious. The world is teetering on the brink, and they're willing to crush the country when, Democratic elected president, they're just going to go, nope, we're not letting it happen. We have all the guns. We need protection. What are you going to do? And they're literally going to dare the population to rise up. I'm not doing it. I won't do it. I won't condone it. I don't care, dude. I'm not ever going to get violent over this stuff. All I will do is just talk about it on here because I can't risk my I have to take care of my family. But this cannot be, dude. I don't know, man. This should make people absolutely terrified. And if you're not, I don't think you really understand what he just said right there.